Well, I mean, we've always rented, well, first thing, we rented apartments, and you always have problems in apartment living. Uh, but we finally got out of that and into houses. And basically, we've always had some type of problem with landlords or something, like maybe the utilities.
So we were all moved in, and a couple days went by, and then finally she brings the lease. She calls and says, "I'm going to bring the lease over," and then you tell her what you saw.
Well, when I was looking to sign it, I looked at the first page, and she had put on there 1,000 for 2 months, and then 1,200 the rest of the months. And that isn't what she told me when we talked with her. But also the shared utilities, I don't think that's fair.
Because we're paying, in the beginning she had us, well, actually, in the beginning when we first moved in, it was just the first floor there and here, so we're splitting it 2 ways. But then when the young lady upstairs moved in, it should have been 3 ways, but she said 3 months later, 4 months later she said, "No, I told you 2 ways." So she was making us pay half of all the utilities, and the utilities 1 month, the electric alone came out to $800. And me being a kidney patient, I get cold real easy, so during the day when it's hot, we can run the air conditioner. And then at night, I don't run anything because I'm nice and cool, but they run the air conditioner all day long. So it's like they use more electricity than us, And we turn the lights off when we don't need it, or it was unfair to us that we had to split this small little place compared to their big place, It seemed uneven. But she cooked dinner last night, and it was hot in here after she done. She had the fan going. I mean, it's just unbearable. Her being 70-something years old shouldn't be in the heat like that. And me, with my dialysis, my blood pressure drops when I'm hot, and I have to sit down or lay down. So we shouldn't have to go through that with her just because she wants to not pay the bills anymore or save money on the bills. I mean, we pay our rent, so we expect all the utilities to be working. So
we want to move, but we don't really have the means right now. And
plus, I mean, for me, I could let all this slide. As soon as she pays us the money, everything will be fine and dandy. There shouldn't be no bickering or uneasiness with each other. I mean, it's something that could be taken care of, but it seems that she's not going to pay us or something. I don't know.
But I mean, I don't want to, have to be forced to move out, because we shouldn't be forced to move out.
It's just us being on fixed incomes, we can't afford it. But we've noticed in the past couple of years that rent has really gone up.
It has.
It has gone up. And like in this neighborhood, they're moving all the people out to build these, these modern homes, and they're really high rent. So I've lived in this neighborhood all my life. I went to school here, and it's changing a lot. So
it is. Because I was just going down the street today, and there was some more houses that had been demolished, and here comes these big old high-rise apartments coming up. I said, this whole neighborhood soon is going to be just those high-rises and no houses, because most of these places around here are older houses, so they're getting rid of them. If you want to find something that's affordable, you're going to either have to go further out, and I even checked on some of the houses out in like Pleasant Grove and Oak Cliff, or even up north. They're still high.
Well, see, like us, this is a 3-bedroom, in this kitchen right here. Well, we have two young adults that live with us. One's working, the other one's in school right now. So we had to look for a 3-bedroom.
I think they should think about the elderly and disabled people within the housing. They should consider the people that don't have the means of support, And, I mean, most are young people, you know, or working people can afford some of this, but even them, sometimes they have problems, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have sufficient money that they get from their jobs to afford some of these apartments or houses. And I think they should consider, you know, that type too. Because I've gone down the streets or even looked at the housing and I thought, oh my goodness, I know I couldn't afford that just by looking at it, you know. And I said, I don't know how people can do it. So I believe they should think about the expense that people will have to go through. You know. And we've got a lot of elderly people out here. And there's one lady had expressed to me about her mother lives in a house and she owns it. But she feels like she's going to get pushed out by those high rises because there's one near her. And she feels like eventually she's going to get pushed out. So that's another consideration they should think about.